Hello again, everybody. Today I'm going to be getting into my hives one last time, for the fall inspections. It is, what is it, October 11th. It's October 11th, 2021, and I'm basically going to get in my hives. Like I said, I'm thinking for the last time, just to kind of check, make sure everything is all good to go for winter. And I probably won't touch them anymore after that, so stick around and I will show you how I do it. Well, here we are in the good old bee yard, or one of my bee yards. I'm gonna try to go quick today, just kind of show you guys a couple of tasks that I'm gonna be doing to get ready for winter this year. So I'm gonna open up this top bar hive. First time in a while. So I'm just checking to see kind of how they're doing, if they're building up, and are they building straight combs? Are there any issues? So when I first started this hive, I cut these two frames out of a langstroth hive. So these frames right here would have been actual top bars that they've now built on. Seems like they're doing pretty good. A lot of nectar, and there are eggs. Because I can't tap my phone with my finger because it has a glove on, I can't really focus, but there are eggs down in there. Nice. So this is a good looking top bar hive, or this bar at least. They've got a lot of brood, a lot of nectar storage, an okay amount of bees, and it's all been drawn down from these top bars naturally, which is great. And then here are the frames that I pulled from the hive they came from. This is where they're going to get a little bit upset because these are their main brood nest. Lots of noise coming out of there. But these are looking great. I mean, it's October 11th and they're still brooding, laying eggs. Everything's looking all good in here. All right, I'm going to close this one up. I'm probably going to give them just a little bit of more space for the winter. That way they don't want to swarm as soon as spring starts. They'll have a little bit of extra room going that direction to build in. And I probably won't be opening these up again until 2022. Just nectar and pollen. So now I'm giving them the chance to build on these new top bars that I just put in there. I think that's pretty adequate spacing. So they are through here now. Not a very big hive, but they're doing all right. I'm excited to see where this one goes. All right, so next step is I'm checking this hive here. If you remember from the top bar hive, I took a swarm trap, put it in the top bar hive. I also had an extra langstroth comb that had brood on it, and I put it in here to try to save these bees and see if they would possibly make it, but they're gone. There is nothing. So here's a good example of how it goes. You know, there's just nothing. There's nothing to be done, nothing you can do about it. There's no reason to lose sleep over it, but now we've got some wax that we want to make sure we take care of here. Looks like the wax moths have gotten to it a little bit. Let's see how terrible the rest of it looks. A little bit of ants, no big deal, because there's probably not any honey in there anyway. It probably got robbed out. Yeah, so I mean, foundationless frames, still okay to use in another box, looks like. Another one. I'm actually really surprised the wax moths haven't torn this thing up. It looks like they kind of did as I get further in here. These are good combs. I actually can nearly put this entire box on top of another hive. So here in a bit, as I check these other boxes, there's bound to be somebody that needs another box and can afford to have that going into winter. So ones like this white one here on the end, these are empty nucleuses, so there's no bees in there. Got a couple of single deeps over there that could potentially already need a second box, so I have combs now basically to give them. So I'll go check those out in a minute. Little guy. Yeah. So other than like this frame right here, this is a very naturally drawn out hive because these are all foundationless frames right here. So I'm gonna move on to this hive and check and see how they're doing. Maybe they need another box. Let's see what's going on in this one. Got a few wood ants running around. Nothing to be concerned about. Always want to check and see if the queen is on this cover when you see a cover covered in bees like this. Do have a couple hive beetles. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 to 8 hive beetles. They're all corralled into one spot. I just mash them when I get the chance. Otherwise, I don't really care. Oh, there. Nothing on that side. I don't want to tilt this one because it's pretty new. They seem to have just drawn this wax this year. But it's got brood, it's got nectar, it's pretty heavy. I don't see the queen. So back in this one goes. Yeah, they got a good brood pattern going on. There's nothing wrong here. Oh yeah, wow, they've got a really good brood pattern going. I can't tilt this one. There, I'm kind of supporting it. Right. Everything is as it should be in this box. Okay, so the last hive we are checking in this bee yard is going to be this one here. If I remember correctly, this was from a feral swarm. So this one I believe is a little more on the aggressive side, so whatever, we'll see. Can't get it. Whoa, I don't have all the frames in this box. That's odd. I'm actually surprised they didn't build combs down from there. Yeah, I have no idea why there's not a full amount of frames in here. Alright, so I went and grabbed some foundationless frames from a different box that was empty. So I'll put those in when I'm done. So let's get through here real quick. They're very frantic, like they're so frantic and noisy. It might be causing a robbing situation, I hope not, but you can tell that there's a good brood pattern in here. Oh wow, okay, so this entire opening right here where there's no honey is all eggs and larvae. So the queen could be on this one. I'm gonna close these up. I don't know if they're flying because I'm causing robbing or what, but they look really good. Move these out of the way. There you have it. That's a very good looking hive. So far, that's probably the best one. And guess what? These are actual feral, like feral caught, didn't add a new queen to them, no nothing, and they're probably the best ones I've inspected today. So that does it for this bee yard. I've checked all of these hives. Now real quick, I'm gonna go get into my mean bees, but there's, I think 1 or 2, maybe 3 single deeps that are, you know, some that I would basically check. Right now I have no interest in checking anything that's more than 2 deeps high, just simply due to the fact that those are already past 1 year old. Any that are in a single deep this year means that they are first year hives. And you know, the ones that are bigger than that, I just ain't worried because I know they're doing fine. So now we're over at my little bit meaner of bees. So the first hive I'm going to check is this peach one right here. Now this one has been very mean before, but then some days it just isn't. So let's see what happens, and I am going to smoke them. All right, let's see what's up. This is from a swarm that moved into a swarm trap from this current year. I probably brought these here in about April or May. And it is now October. Just a frame of nectar. Another frame of nectar. All right, so I see some brood on this next one. I don't see the queen, but check it out, because this is a nice picture perfect frame of brood. We've got honey on one side that's not, or well, nectar that's not capped. We've got capped honey at the top. All is good there. So this wax, oh my God, let's not trip and fall with bees. This wax is white like this because it's pretty brand new. All right, now instead of showing the camera for a second, let me take a look for the queen. Nope, no queen on that one. All that shininess, that's nectar that is not capped, or in other words, honey. Got some brood on this side, which is the brown capped cells, and brood is baby bees. Those are little cocoons of babies. Each one obviously is one single bee, and they do come out full grown. They do come out as an adult bee. Everything looks as it should here. Let me check for a queen. I do not see a queen, or the queen I mean, on this frame. Got some nectar and brood on this frame, but I don't see a queen right now. She's in there somewhere though, because I see eggs. And that is the end of that one. So this is a perfect 10 frame box in my opinion. This thing is doing very good. They've always done really good ever since I put them in there. So you close them up, and there you go. And now you open up the one next to it. This one is pretty much entirely capped of honey. This one here is going to have their brood. So we've got brood on both sides along with some nectar. Now I'm going to look for the queen. No queen that I can see immediately. I don't even remember where this hive came from. I'm sure it was a swarm of some sort, but I'm not sure when I put it in. It's a single deep, so it must have been this year, but I kind of honestly can't remember which swarm trap it was or when I got them. So this is a good hive, doing really well. Got brood, got honey. It's natural, naturally drawn. Doing good. Got another one with a bunch of brood. Wow, this one has a lot of really cool looking pollen, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. For those of you that are not familiar, now I need to support this with my finger so it doesn't fall back. So all these fancy looking colors, that's pollen. You got orange, you got yellow, some white. There's a bit of like brownish, kind of tan colored. And those are just all the various plants that are available. They all have their own color. All right, well that wraps up that hive. I just noticed something. This is the stickiest, clearest looking propolis I think I've ever seen. The stuff is almost like honey itself. Propolis is all different, and depending on what hive you're opening, it just each hive kind of makes their own brand of propolis, really. And this stuff is very yellow and just kind of nice, honestly. It's weird. It's almost shiny. I'm gonna shake these bees off because I'm really trying to work the foundation out of my yard. I hate foundation. I really prefer to go foundationless. And just like that, you got no bees on it, so off to the trash the foundation goes. No, that's not really true. I'll put it up in the honey supers. I do use foundation in honey supers, but preferably in my bee box, my brood box, I just do foundationless. And then you go grab yourself a good old nasty foundationless frame that was ridden with wax moths. This is another reason I wear gloves in Texas, y'all, because maybe my bees won't be stinging my hands. That's one thing, but you know what could be stinging my hands? Two things, actually, that would be in these empty boxes with no bees in them. Those two things are brown recluse spiders and bark scorpions, both of which will, the bark scorpion will make you really hurt. The brown recluse, you're gonna probably need some treatment in the hospital to treat that wound, because those things really mess your skin up and they make your muscle and your skin rot. I don't know all the details other than that it is really nasty. And I do see a lot of brown recluse spiders in these empty bee boxes out here, and a lot of very large scorpions. I think some of the largest scorpions I've ever seen has been on this property, and they've been in my bee boxes that have no bees in them. There we go. Now we'll be checking. I'm gonna go ahead and check this one here. No, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and check both of these because I don't remember what the top brood box looks like. I'm not sure if it's comb with no bees. I'm not sure if there's brood on them, but I'm gonna get in there and find out. See, this type of propolis is very tacky and it pops. It wants to slam apart, and you run into bees and you end up getting yourself stung, all because their propolis is so strong. And then some, it doesn't hardly stick like that at all. Holy moly. Calm down there. Nice. This is some all capped honey. Nice wax, or nice white cappings. Nothing much on that side. Looks like the same thing right here. Oh yeah, that one's heavy. Golly. I can't even hardly bring this over there because this thing is so heavy with honey that I am just gonna leave it. Yeah, so it seems like they just have honey up in this box. I'm not gonna open it up to get down into the second brood box because there's no point. That hive's doing really good, not worried about them. Now we go to this one. All right, right, so it looks like they've started drawing out wax on these frames because I did put foundation in these. Oh, and I totally just broke up a lot of honey that was connecting these top and lower boxes, so that happens sometimes. They'll just clean it up inside the box. So again, they've basically made some honey on this one. Looks like they're doing the same on that back side. They've got it glued. I'm not actually just not gonna pull it, you know what? Because they've got it glued going vertically down to the next box or up, or whichever way you want to look at it. This is just all honey, so that means that below that everything is as it should be. So I'm just gonna scoot everything back together and close it up. So there you have it. I got into these boxes, check and make sure everything's okay. That one over there I'm not gonna get into. Not gonna get into these. I got into the boxes that you can't quite see through the woods over there, and everything is looking good. And I might probably get in there maybe one more time for the end of the year and kind of take out any combs that are not being protected and store them properly. But other than that, there's not much left to do this year. Hey everyone, Future Cord here. Just wanted to mention that the video you just watched was all filmed on October 11th. It is now December 16th. And I just wanted to mention that I never ended up getting back into these hives. What's happening here is all the same since this video is recorded. I've done nothing, and it's going to stay that way because now it's mid-December and I'm not going to open these hives anymore. It is 77 degrees today. It is a nice day and the bees are flying, but done opening these hives. They're going to go through winter the way you just saw them, and we will see how it all turns out. Not worried at all. Everything's going to be just great. That about wraps it up this time around. I appreciate all you guys that have stuck around and been watching my videos. Appreciate all the comments on there. There's a lot of good feedback, a lot of people that don't like what I'm doing, but hey, it's working for me, so I'm gonna keep on doing it. I think I mentioned it in a previous video that there's not a whole lot of bee work left to do this year. So that's the only reason I don't post consistent videos, is because I don't check my bees consistently, except for in the springtime. So any bee work that I do, I will film it and I will show you all what's going on. But until next time, thanks for watching.